a skill set that's going to make you more valuable to other companies or other academic institutions or whatever. You're going to basically be in a team, a max mix team from different disciplines, if you will, while you're there. You're going to get a combination of hands-on and lecture, if you will, about half and half. So we really want to immerse you in the technology. And you're also going to be doing group projects and really cool group projects in different areas. And that'll be something that'll come out from, you're going to gain some really good skills from that. This is the skill set that you actually would, the exit skill set that you learn. When we showed this to industry and we showed it at the beginning, some of the new companies that came on our advisory board, they said, you can really teach that to people at the associate baccalaureate level within one semester. And they said, yes, we have experience doing that. And they love it. They think this is great. We're actually institutionalizing this and creating standards around it. And we're actually going to have a testing for this that you can get stackable certificates after this. You'd get, in addition to your certificate you get from Penn State, you would be able to test for certificates in a couple of years, be able to test for it, so that you can have the certificate and say, look, I passed these six tests, if you will. Okay? And I think that's going to be very valuable. So we've got over 154 companies that have graduated, or companies that have hired our grads. Many of them have hired 20 or 30 employees that keep coming back. This is the companies, and they're very small companies, they're medium-sized companies, they're multinational companies, and they're every industry sector you can imagine. I have some of them listed on our website at nanoforme.org of the alumni section. You can take a look, and I have them kind of broken down by various industry sectors, so you can get an idea of where the different types of institutions that have hired our graduates. And these are for jobs in nanotech, utilizing the skill sets that I just showed you. And they basically are. The one thing the reason I have this slide in here is to show you that you came out and said, oh, I'm going to look for nanotechnology jobs. Well, it might not say nanotechnology jobs. It'll be jobs that and they might not be nano in title, if you will. They're jobs utilizing the skill sets that you learn within this thing. Nobody's changing most people are not changing their job descriptions or job titles to nano. There's some in here that do say nano, but most do not. So these are graduates of the program. It's a couple years old. 60% were from associate programs, 41% were from baccalaureate degree programs at the time they took the capstone. So you'd be in a classroom with baccalaureate students and associate students. Very good feedback on the value of the educational experience. And then also 70% of them, almost 70% said they were employed in a nano field, okay, when they were out. And 95% basically high level of either of basically working or in the degree program. These are some feedback from companies. This is one near Pittsburgh. And basically the students are anywhere from technicians to management, and they have a great technical foundation. Students have come through. Actually we've had several students come from Penn College that have gone down to Pittsburgh and worked for Flextronics. Did you do the field trip? No, I don't know. Another group that went down there. And then there's another one, Psyoptics, which is in the, these are just two companies, an example, I could have put others. They basically really feel these students are valuable, reduce the training time, hit the ground running, and they enable them to be long-term contributors to the company profitability. This is actually the website. If you went to our nanoforme.org and clicked on the map of Pennsylvania, you can go in, or you can go directly to it by doing this, and you do have to use the large P and MT to get to it like that way, but it's a way to be able to kind of really get an idea of where more about the program. I also have, you can contact me at any time. Dr. Rankin is an expert about this program. He helped us to form this program, and he really is an expert in the technology also. So this is kind of what I tried to do today is, let's see, tell you what nanotechnology was, or at least a small portion of it. Some of you had some great knowledge about it and helped me. Why I think you should care about it now and in the future, and then where you can find this program at Penn State. Okay? So this is that video, and time for a couple questions.
Any questions, anybody? So actually I have there's a one-page form you fill out to reserve your spot down at Penn State, either through me or Dr. Albert. Basically the form is for you to fill out is your address and whether you want to stay in a dorm or you're going to find an apartment housing. Apartment housing is a little less expensive because you can typically find a sublet kind of thing for maybe $300 a month. And then there's another part of the application. I kind of go through to make sure you have the proper background. Make sure you have, the proper GPA. You should have at least a B average or so. I like to see if you have at least a basic science background, maybe a little chemistry. If you don't, I recommend that you make sure you at least understand the periodic chart, at least on a superficial level. You understand electrons. Actually, you learn electrons and right now in electronics. So you actually have an advantage, as Bob said. The students in electronics background usually have a little leg up on the students that come from the sciences, because they don't usually have that type of skill set to come into the program. So anyway, it's best, especially in the summer, to reserve your spot as early as possible. If they fill up, it's going to be in the summer typically, right?
Absolutely.
And there's been a couple summers where, well, they came up real close to having to turn away people. Maybe they did one summer, I don't know. But typically they bring up to about 40 in the summer. That's about their max. In the spring is maybe a little bit less. But the earliest you think you're even going to be a 50% chance, it's best to fill out that application, get it in. It doesn't cost anything, but that'll hold your spot. And that way, if you do decide you have the funding and have the time, it's easy you'll have your spot reserved. You won't lose your spot. So that's basically how the process works. Once you fill out that form, the administrators down at Penn State will contact you about your housing choices and things like that, and they'll get everything all set up for you. It's kind of nice. And again, you get to experience the full main campus Penn State experience. You'll be a Penn State student with all the benefits and, Beaver Stadium tickets, whatever you want.
I don't supply those.
Yeah, no. Well, you have to buy them, but Penn State students get first dibs on things like that. And one of the comments some of the students says is at Penn College you don't necessarily get what you envision as the full, college experience. At Penn State you do. You got your extracurricular activities. You can get all the parties you want to, but maybe you shouldn't. But I think the one student, he's probably going to end up marrying the girl he met while he was there at the Penn State capstone semester. So a lot of good things come out of that semester if you can afford it and have the time to do it. It's highly recommended. If you talk to any of the 100 or so Penn State or Penn College students that have been through it, they'll say, man, it was a great experience. It was hard work, but they're glad they did it. And it was, in the experience I've seen too, is a lot of students, that 90% placement rate don't count the students that end up staying at Penn State. One time I was working on my PhD coursework, and here comes Arthur. I haven't seen him for a couple of years. He was working on his master's degree. We had the same class together. It was kind of neat. We took crystal chemistry together. He was working on his master's in material science. I was working on my PhD, but we happened to have the same class. It was kind of neat having Arthur come in, but he decided to just stay at Penn State and continue in the material science aspect. He kind of switched gears, kind of like I did. I kind of went to nanotechnology from my electrical engineering master's program, but Arthur did the same thing, and I'm not sure where he is now. But
we have another one. There's one that you guys, the degrees that work.
I don't think they saw this, but I'll have to show them.
You have to take that up. It's 26 minutes, so it's like it was shown on the public television stations. It was like you guys were 10 years old when it first came out, so it was like 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
2005, I think.
Yeah.
But this guy, Mark Atwater, was in your seats basically in the ET program here. Was in Jeff's class.
Well, actually, Mark think he went through the manufacturing.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was. You're right.
That's right.
But he went through that program, and he wound up getting a degree here at Penn College, and then he went on and decided. And that thing is it kind of follows him through the capstone. Actually, gets a good idea of what the capstone's a really good idea
Right.
of what the capstone's about. Now, evolved 10 years later, it's different. However, he then went and got a master's degree at University of New Mexico in material science. He got a doctorate, PhD in material science and material science and engineering from University of North Carolina, and now he's working. Actually, he decided he really had a passion for teaching, so he's actually teaching at Millersville University.
Yeah,
He's a professor at Millersville. So it's really cool. He's our representative at Millersville University.
Okay, that's cool.
Which
Yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. So it's been around long enough for that. So you had a question?
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I guess first one, I know this is more of a research fab, like an industrial one. What is the smallest in nanometers as far as nodes go that you can fabricate?
Smallest you can fabricate.
Smallest node you can fabricate with equipment.
Like node. What do you mean a node?
22 nanometers, 14 nanometers.
Well, I don't.
Like I said, I know it's more of a research.
I don't know the answer to that. I do know that they're fabricating in the nanofabrication facility, which is just in 2011. It was just redone the Millennium Science Complex. They're fabricating in different areas, electronics and different. I mean, all different areas. They're down at the They're definitely down at the nanometer size range. But I don't know. I mean, in the single nanometer digits, they have transmission electron microscopes there that are.
I saw a little chart that was on the website for it.
Yeah.
Down to like the 5 or 6 nanometer range.
Yeah,
that was a pretty broad.
Yeah, and that's basically. I mean, they can do that every day.
That's state of the art. So.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
state-of-the-art.
they definitely have the tool set to do it. It's whether they have the grad students or whatever
Yeah, that are working in that particular area.
with the particular project that need to go that small. A lot of times, there's only specific research areas that really need to go that small. There's so many applications for the 20 nanometer range. Do they really need to go to the 1 or 2? But I mean, there is definitely applications. You can go as small as you want, right? You can get down to the neutron, or if you want to. I'm sure there's tons of applications.
There are applications.
Second question was, do you have any examples of student outcomes who have gone through the program, what kind of job they've been doing in the industry from either the technician background or the electrical engineering background?
Yeah, we have people all over the place in all those companies. We're selling 154 different companies.
Yeah.
And it really depends. I mean, I don't know if you saw on that one slide. They're anywhere from entry-level technicians working in one particular aspect of the skill set to people who are engineers, who are kind of responsible for areas. So it really depends on how far you decide to go with your education. Is if you want to be specialized in a particular area and be an expert in that area, you could get a technologist or technician job. If you want to, go farther along with your degree, there are people now that are working as PhD scientists who have technicians working for them. So they're all over the place. It's very hard to answer because they're all over the place.
It depends on the person.
It depends on the person.
Yeah, well, Fairchild Semiconductor, we have one that's on there. Brandon Harris, he's one of the videos on the PA NMT website. And Brandon went through the nano program. Matter of fact, we actually had a 2-year emphasis. We don't no longer have that, but Brandon went through our 2-year nano program, which included the semester at Penn State. Went to Fairchild Semiconductor, did the 12-hour shift thing, worked 6 at night, 6 in the morning, but making tons of money. He had so much fun, he'd work most of the week. He'd put in another couple days. He'd put in 5, 12-hour days. Made a ton of money, But then recently, he started wanted to get his bachelor's degree at Wilkes in chemistry, and about 2 years ago he switched from being a technician, and they hired him as an engineer. The engineering schedule is usually Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, because he just got married recently. I've been following him on Facebook.
I'm his Facebook friend too.
Oh, Brandon? Yeah. He saw his picture of his wife. He saw his Halloween outfit. Yeah. Yeah, he was, or something like that. He's a very pretty wife. Anyways, so he started as a technician. Now he's an engineer, and with his bachelor's in chemistry, I think he's probably working on his master's now.
Yeah, we've had other students that come through and same thing, have gotten like their maybe their associate degree here, and then gotten a degree from Bloomsburg or something like that. We've had people go.
And Fairchild Semiconductor is just an hour, about an hour and a half from here. Matter of fact, we usually take a field trip. I missed the field trip this year, just did timing.
There will be one in the spring, probably.
But maybe we'll probably go down in the spring. Fairchild usually invites us out. Part of the university days, they invite lots of colleges for a tour of their 8-inch fab, and they love the graduates from the Penn State NMT if they can get them instead of they like to go to They have tons of graduates work at Fairchild Semiconductor. As a matter of fact, instrumental, I think, to keeping the plant there was probably some of the grads, because they almost
That's
left.
very interesting
Yeah,
to say that,
close,
because
yeah.
I did talk to some people that said Fairchild was going to like take the whole operation, they were gonna close. And they said, you know, it's too expensive, the labor force is too expensive, and it wound up that they tried to move it to another country, and they could not make the quality that they had, or they couldn't get the level of the people that they had. And it wasn't just our program, it was just the level of people, and they wound up actually not closing down, they wound up expanding the facility. And that's because a lot of it was because they had the workforce here, and they could make the quality requirements that they needed to make here, and the efficiency, they couldn't make it where they wanted to. Yes, sir.
So, like, say you're in the bachelor program.
Yes.
When would be like the ideal time to do this program? Like in between your junior and senior year?
Sophomore and junior year. I would say the ideal time would be between your sophomore and junior, because you have the background, okay? You have the technical background to do it. You could do it before, but it depends on where you are. But between your sophomore and junior year, because that enables you between your junior and senior year to then go out, and if you think you're going to graduate school or something like that, to get an REU. Okay, so then if you don't wait till your junior and senior year, you're going to actually be going out into the workforce or moving on to the further academic institution. So the earlier the better. And if you have the opportunity to do it within a semester, you can do it in the spring semester too. It depends on what the sequencing of your courses and where you are in your coursework.
And at least,
actually work
yeah.
a lot with many courses. Yes, sir.
And at least one of these courses, maybe two, will fit as electives in your BEE program. So these 18 credits, at least 6 of them, maybe 7, will actually fit in two slots. We have an open elective, and I think there's a technical elective that you can slide these courses into. So they're not all just extra. Maybe 4 of the 6 might be extra that won't quite fit, but most of them are.
Just to let
2
you
of them
know,
will fit.
this is the World Campus version of this. You get an undergraduate certificate in nanotechnology from Penn State through this program. You can do it on World Campus. It's a heck of a lot more expensive to do it that way. You don't get all the hands-on that you get. So it's way better to do it this way. But somebody in India could take it too. We have people from all around the world taking these courses right now. Yes, sir. No, you can ask many questions.
Do you know mentions from saying that when I decided to go more theoretical route, transfer to Penn State to do electrical engineering, it's still an option?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I think it gives you the understanding and also if somebody's wise, who's selecting people to go into those programs. We've had a lot of people come from the baccalaureate institutions across Pennsylvania into graduate programs at Penn State. There's been tons of them at Penn State and other places. Yeah. Anybody else? Well, applications, you would see. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes. My question is this.
Oh, one second. You know what? I'm gonna let people want to leave. Whatever. It sounds like we're finishing up.
pretty good.
But I'll talk to you. Okay.
Yeah, also,
Any other questions?
I'm going to be sticking around. If anybody wants to finish up their fiber optic epoxy, you kind of have the epoxy
I will talk to you.
part done. You're welcome to go or stay, but I'll be here. Okay. Didn't you have a pen to pass out?
Oh yeah, I have pens. Hold on, guys. Those of you out here, take pen. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you send an email out about this?
No, this is just something I talked about.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm thinking about it. Someone's doing
I just mentioned it in class.
transferring.
Yes.
Were you over the I was, I actually was at the game that
Where are you now?
No problem.
Because I'm used to coming in there closer to the lab.
I should have made an announcement to make sure you could catch it, but I videotape most of it.
Oh, okay.
What we're talking about is the nano technology option.
I actually visited Penn State, so
Yeah, well, you just went over the basic. What is nanotechnology? Showed some samples.
Oh, that is the way.
And that's all Bruce and I have.
Without a doubt.
Adding.
This is without a doubt one of the ways for you to get a leg up on the competition because you're going to have an extra skill set in addition to your standard skill set, and if you're going to treat you, it's something that you're going to trust someone basically for a semester and take home where
I know it's.
I just snapped it.
your future career.
I got it all the way down to the fiber.
I really understand that. You can see where it's going. You never want to put something going.
I mean,
You know what?
it's electronics, this is like intertwined with everything electronics because things are really gonna get
Oh, absolutely. But I see that, you know that.
No, that's when I'm working it out.
right. I didn't even see you had a box on the front. I didn't even see that you had a box on the front.
And she
I
heard about it when it came out. It has its advantages, durability, but it has a lot of potential.
He's in another network. This one, another one.
No, I got one.
I know.
Alright, here.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, that's not the
But
same one.
he either knows it or
What
On a national
plans
scale,
are
it doesn't have
you
the national semester.
The plan is in another, it's like in a network.
I don't know.
When I was actually going to Penn State,
And I know Fireway.
this was a bunch of years ago, I had some issues.
Even if I know it's bigger than just back and nerd.
It's like I
But you can go to that nowforme.org. Yeah, I think I ran out of that one.
Was he the guy that we saw like the first week?
You haven't.
No, not him, not him.
No, you don't have to catch those.
I didn't have
I feel like you see them too,
You
like,
earlier classes. I should have brought
it's
more.
the same person.
I had my hands on it.
play tennis. Is that why you said it?
No, I didn't. Look at that.
I was
All my tests are like you mouse. There's a mail in perfect binder then.
It's got down to 2 today.
There's so many.
Oh, cool. And I do play tennis. Yeah, there's so many by racket.
You know what level of physics that you have done before you start to get out of this?
That was the Wikipedia.
Hey, go on.
Basically,
You might have non-calculus based physics. You might have calculus.
although everything we're doing here is calculated.
Then you're good. Then you're good. You're ahead of the curve.
He doesn't get signed.
Thanks for your time.
Hey, thank you. Your name is
Charlie.
Charlie. Do you want to put
Give me your.
A lot of people left too that didn't sign in either.
Sure. Because I didn't send you that. I didn't get spam into you, so I'll make sure you get the right. Yeah, I'll have another one. That says the actual restaurant. With your name on there.
Thanks, David.
They're working in the narrow scale for the 3D printing. They haven't been able to utilize.
I did. I should. I just made it so it's similar.
There were some out there. You didn't feel like it's actually a really cool program.
You know we should take that. I decided to make yeah.
Where are you?
At least this season.
Sorry. No, but it's very interesting.
Get your pen.
They are forming an agreement to.
I gotta go to a volleyball game soon. Volleyball, man.
You mentioned one of your.
Are you going to the volleyball game? So, like volleyball?
There is a way we might be able to do that. I know we're working.
I really want to do the other thing.
Well, it's something
It
that
sounds fun.
yeah.
Because I knew what I was doing, that I want to set, but I just.
My name is Weston.
Is it Wesley?
Wesley.
Wesley. Wesley. Sorry, yes.
My mom actually works at she's in art. Basically, she works with workforce education.
Oh, nice. And where does she work?
Yeah, main campus.
It's up to you then.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
You gonna say hi?
Yes, I do. This past year.
Oh, cool.
I had a rocky education, so it's not that 1 year.
Right. So people take a little time to get the engine started.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was. I've actually visited the nanotechnology lab.
Oh, cool.
The two buildings.
Yeah, the one that with the Williams, the new one, the Williams.
Yes.
Yeah.
I visited that with Mr. Rick.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I actually know a little bit about nanotechnology. We saw like the cool little microscope they had.
Kind of like a microscope or the transmission electron microscope. Right.
So what program are you, I guess, advertising?
Oh, this is this nanotechnology workforce education program where you come there for 1 semester.
Okay, so this is just to apply for information about it.
Yeah. Well, if you're interested in it, you can talk to Dr. Rankin about it, and he will actually be able to help you get a really good understanding of the program. But if you're interested in it, it would be something you could take in addition. Are you in the EET program?
Yes.
This is something you would take in addition to this, and you get a certificate in nanotechnology, basically.
Okay.
And
What does NAC mailing this mean?
that's our that's actually I just check it out. This is our list there. This is our I'm not going to show that really. So
My question is, I'm trying mine goes. In case it scratches up your phone.
Oh,
Is it
no,
mailing?
no.
It's mailing to
you don't want to check it on my phone. That's fine. That's fine. You have an email address there, right? You put an email in?
Yeah, I put 2.
Excellent. So I'm waiting to get to the brochures, right? This is for you, Charles, right?
Yes,
And this is for Maryland.
So basically, it's figuring
they say from outside the city area, but
partly
counting.
Yep. Cool. And it's
Nothing.
thanks.
I'm still confused. No, I'm still.
What year are you in?
It's like a friends over like a bunch of shit. I played Rocky freshman year. No, this was a dyslexia.
Gotcha.
My mom was there.
And 2 guys, we checked the.
Yeah, sometimes I
I can't do long tests.
I know.
When I'm in the labs.
My
My
daughter.
lab grades are high. My test grades
It
are high.
happens.
You're
What should I
probably.
write down for a title?
You don't have to worry about it.
The thing is,
my stupid diet.
my amp, it might be a little bit confusing, but I might have to get my parents to send it out to me. And I think I was just
Set what up?
the brochures. I put my work over here.
Okay.
Anyways.
Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make sure.
The idea is.
Dr.
I cranked
Rankin.
it up. It's not that bad.
Okay. And then maybe you can.
Listen to what we're talking
about.
You should have ears, and I can hear from my door.
That is true.
Cool. Well, I was talking about the guy who was part of the band. Yeah. Other than white ball red.
Oh yeah?
Ramble.
You wouldn't happen to know the Morrisons?
Where are they? Where are they?
I forget exactly where the address is, but they're near there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. Ramble with. Ow.
So that, where the credits are, that's just something that you can put on there.
Yeah, there's multiple, possibly.
Oh.
For an internship credit, which is credit you can use for your program. So here's, so they have 11 students from this summer. These kind of projects they do. Robotic need another hole in the head?
Let's go. It's alright, David. How are you?
All right.
I'll check it out.
As a resident on
Yeah.
Can we take like either your summer class or this?
Well, you take it 18 credits.
Oh, wait, this is for right here.
6 courses. It's not just one course. It is 18 credits, and it's pretty intense. So it's not something that you can't do if you're a hard worker, but it's something that you're hard worker. You've got to be a hard worker to do. Let's put it that way. And because you're doing labs, you're doing all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of requirements for it, but it's really worth the effort. So if you're interested, once you sign for that, then we'll see what. Make sure we.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you answer the other. When I said you could do this, and this is probably in paper.
Yeah. Are you in a 4-year program?
Yes.
And you're accredited?
Yes.
Okay. You could do it.
Put together as a
It
requirement.
depends on you. Talk to Dr. Rankin. You could do it between your freshman and sophomore.
And then the professor reaffirms.
You know, if you have a semester, you do it.
Well, that would be
In the springtime.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not next year because it's only your second semester, but the springtime next year. Depends on what the sequencing of your courses. I would recommend you do it earlier because it opens your options for later on down the road, and you can get an idea of, oh wow, this is really cool. It helps you apply some of the stuff you're learning too. So I think it's really a good reinforcement of your learning.
Yeah, it's the idea is it's all. I just remember other.
That's very interesting.
No,
Again,
glad to hear.
even I said Penn State and Kansas.
I think it's very valuable and could be.
John Hopkins has it. I didn't know this.
Nanotechnology is definitely going to be very, very important in the next tool of electronics.
Oh, absolutely. Not just electronics, but you're right.
Everything,
All
too.
everything. So, and we are like I don't know if you were here when it says this is very unique in the country. We're helping to start a program. We definitely are the leaders in this area
Oh yeah,
in nanotechnology education.
definitely agree with Penn State.
So we're right at the top of the list, and this nanotechnology workforce education for sure we are number 1 at it. So hey, yeah, bring that to you. There you go. I'm sure there might be, and
There's sort of like
there
this, they said it's like a secret polymer that
it might be rare
very
for
bendy or do
It
this.
might be. I don't know, but it's possible they're using it, but they might not advertise it.
They may not know it's that.
Yeah, they might. And you know what? That's true. Some people are using it and don't even know that they're using it. So it might be. And say something they're buying to make that the material that they're buying from some, and maybe that's injection molded or something like that. It might be that they're using nanotechnology.
I'll be right back.
Nice.
Not a problem.
I saw a video. Somebody ran over this. This was anywhere. They ran over with a car. They ran over with a truck actually. The whole thing bent all the way down around and back into shape. Perfect shape.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's very different than the skateboards from my era that were basically were wooden.
Yeah. Well, they still make this.
Oh, do they?
This is just the brand. This is just their way of.
I like it.
Yeah, I really like it. It's durable. I beat it up.
Yeah, see, it's very cool. Very cool. That seems like he'd be very hard to kill.
I think so. I guess if you hit it the right way at the right time, you can.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you packed it in an axe, I'm sure it would go.
Perhaps.
Alright, well, it's good meeting you, sir.
Hey, you too. Nice meeting you. Take care.
So, I forgot my question.
Okay.
What department do you work in?
I work in the engineering science department. I work as the director of the center.
Oh, that's cool. Which building?
It's over at EES. It's over on the west side of Kansas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I walked.
It's the ISD building.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
We're the one that goes over to Atchison Street.
yeah.
Is that audio engineering building?
No, it's
One beside it.
it's like straight. If you come over the ISD bridge,
I'm sure I've walked past it.
Well, I know there's the building on the left, which is not the one with this water tunnel, and the one that's behind it, which is like
Research
you
West.
pretty much need a security clearance to get in there.
That's ARL. Yeah, that's ARL. It's up to the left.
That is the
And my office is in the Research West, which is right next to
Okay,
that.
I know what
It's
you're
an old
talking
building.
about. Yeah.
And then the engineering science building is straight ahead of you on the bridge.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you're in that building. Okay.
Yeah, that's where the lab. We just moved there. Did you put your name down, or if you want to?
I did that, sure.
Now, what year did you say you were in?
I'm actually a sophomore. Here's what happened to me. I went to Penn State. Research started as a non-degree student. I went to State High. I just didn't know what I wanted.
Right.
I took some classes for a while. I did okay. Turned out, long story short, I took a lot of math classes. Remedially, I wasn't doing so well. It didn't have anything to do with the learning material. It turned out I just had test anxiety. I went and got that taken care of, but kind of did my GPA at Penn State. So I kind of transferred here. I'm actually an academic renewal at Penn State.
Okay.
So pretty much I'm at a point where I'm getting a 2-year degree here because partially because of financial reasons.
Right.
I like very much going back to the bachelor's program
Right.
at Penn State, I think, because frankly, it concerns me about PE being not quite as rigorous as EE.
Oh, yeah.
And it's for what I wanted to be. I wanted to be an RF engineer.
Right,
Okay,
right.
RF design, intent design. You need
Right.
rigor for that.
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm at here. So, like, basically, more than anything, I think kind of my partial goal is to go back. Plus, it'd be about $10,000 cheaper a year because I could just commute from home.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
You know,
Well, this is a program that maybe you would add on to that, you know what I mean? It might be
Yeah.
something you think about, because I think you could be the right kind of student for it.
because I put a lot of hours in. I do. I'm not going to say I'm perfect, but I do pretty good in my classes.
If you're a hard worker, and you really want to learn, this is a great program. And you're a hands-on kind of guy, you know, something that you really like that, get hands-on. This is a good program. It just adds to your academic toolbox. So it's something that you know, consider at
It's not
least.
just being honest with you.
That's fine, or if you want to do it.
I've been doing this. There's tests are what was very killing me. Also parts of the tests are like all the labs and stuff I've been doing.
Were you, what degree program were you in?
Documents from March 2015, so the next day.
I was going to be doing computer engineering, and then, like I said, I was kind of drifting around there while I figured out what was going on. And it's actually funny, I was going to do IST, but I didn't get into that program, so I figured I might as well go back and become an engineer. I could, you know, just as a side for fun, that sort of
Right.
thing. I've actually been doing really well ever since I came up here.
Cool.
But it's
Well, you know, it's good.
cool board, actually. But
Well,
it's,
that's okay. Well, this would be a cool thing to add to it. You know, this is not going to be.
you have many, I guess I asked that already, but you see very many people from the EE or engineering science program in the nanofabrication program up there?
We don't advertise it. We advertise it
Because
to our partners.
I never actually heard about it when I was up at Penn State the last time.
We don't advertise it there. We don't advertise it there. It really is. Our funding came through, and we really go out to our partners across the state. We don't really advertise it. And I'm sure we could fill it with people from Penn State. The idea is to bring other people. And what it is really cool is that a lot of students have matriculated into other degrees by coming to this program. You know, we don't. That's not what we advertise it as, and we don't somewhere. But it's a good way to get an idea.
Yeah.
Your name again was?
My name's Joe.
Joe.
Joseph Sherman, just Joe.
Nice to meet you, Joe.
Nice to meet you, sir.
All right.
I think this pen was yours.
You can have that. Borrow that. It doesn't actually add Nice to meet you, Joe. Maybe we'll see you. All right. If you have any questions,
I'm definitely interested in doing this. Assuming all I my finances pulled out, then yeah, you'll see me.
oh, great, great. I'm glad to hear that. So we've got. I'm gonna give him my cards.
Yeah.
I forgot to do that.
Might be,
If you have questions, it's on the website.
don't know about next summer, maybe the one after that. Because I need to finish here.
Not
I'll have all the math in.
Not summer of 2016, perhaps the summer of 2007.
Yes.
Well, I'll probably be coming back next year again, and we'll talk to you again. But if you have any questions in the meantime, don't hesitate to contact us.
Also, one other thing about the
Bob. Yeah, now, you know what? I'm going to give you a card. If I can find it.
Okay.
I don't know. Anybody want to know?
Yeah.
Have my computer back?
Well, you'll have it. You know, if you lose it, put it somewhere. You can kind of give me a call or look on my website.
I keep all my cards in my wallet, so I'm not gonna lose it. It's just,
Where is it?
I swear, sometimes I must have to send it to Goldfish.
Like immediately answered. Mine got error. You know what the best thing is supposed to be for? Yeah.
This
Oh, I don't know. I got errors. Oh. I'm sorry. Congratulations, you're out there. We're great at this somehow.
Don't worry about it.
There you go. Here's the card.
You still have that fiber optic card?
Very much so.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Wesley.
Wes, that's what I said.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go, sir.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Have questions? Give me a holler. Send me an email or whatever, okay? Give me a holler.
I didn't know you didn't advertise at Penn State.
No, we don't because we were trying to service the partners more.
But if you still
I'm gonna
accept
give,
students
I'm gonna
from
give
there,
Dr. Rankin his cards and you can.
I thought John Hopkins has one.
What?
John Hopkins has
As a what?
fiber optic. Well, an RU.
Oh, RUs, yeah, they would have them, and they had UMBC had one, NIST had one last year. There were people that were all over the place. We have people placed at NIST and through these programs across the country.
Summerlin, Methodist Church, Port Rosie, Altoona area.
Gotcha.
But we were joking around, like, if he gets his doctorate degree in, I think it was maybe philosophy or something.
Right.
Or theology. We were joking around, like, what would we call him? What would be his title? Reverend Dr. Bob.
So, let's see, I think there's a guy, it's a small church, right?
Yes.
Okay, there's a guy there, they're required, Rick, he's about 65, 65.
I don't know if his church is as well as my office.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason I said that is I play basketball with I played basketball with this guy, and I know he goes to that church, and I know it's very small. If I remember and stuff there. So, nice guy. Just recovering from cancer. And,
Well, yeah, it is.
nice guy.
There's a lot
So
of
he's in your father's flock.
circle. Yes, if you're going by Google stuff.
There you go.
That's